guys, it's your friendly neighbor cat mama Ria Boss coming to you live from Enjoyment Radio, and you're listening to The Breakdown with Christina.
You are tuning into Enjoyment Radio, music for us, by us.
On Enjoyment Radio. Get your comments in, chat to us, give us some questions, and let's just kiki. But let's get into it. So Ria Boss, why the name?
Okay, so my government name is Maria Bossman Damiba.
Maria
Bossman Damiba.
Bossman is actually there.
My Bossman is my name. Like I was born a boss. Like that's.
I know that's
facts, honey. That's
energy.
Facts. Okay. But actually, when I first started sort of like venturing into the music, I made a song with this artist Papa Mensa that I went to school with. It's a song called Dear Grace. Actually, shout out to Papa. Okay. And he was like, one day we were working on something. He was like, you know what? You could actually just like shorten your name and be like Ria Boss. And that was, I think, the first time like that had dawned on me, because when I was releasing music, I was using my full government name. Like I wasn't taking it as seriously as because I was a lot younger. But when he said that, something clicked because it felt very real. Because very close friends of mine, like shout out to Sugar, they started calling me Ria from time, and I realized that actually felt more like me. You know, yeah. Maria feels. I mean, I like to say I have different alters, but Maria is a bit more subdued, whereas I think Ria has a bit more confidence. And so I felt that in Ria Boss, like I'm claiming the boss, and so I felt like that's a perfect name.
I love that. And where did Cat Mama come from?
Oh, okay. First of all, I'm cat lady crazy. I love cats. So
if I have a cat?
Yes, I do. Her name is Cash. Shout out to Cash. Keeps me out of house and home. Okay. In this economy, if you have a cat, please just be giving them watching. Because even the watching is too expensive. I don't even know what to say. Even the sardine is not 10 cedis. So I really don't know what to say. But anyway. But yeah, Cat Mama. So I've always sort of like loved animals in general. When I was living in New York, I remember I was sort of like going through a really rough patch, and a friend of mine said, you know, you should try and get a cat. I'd always had dogs growing up.
Oh, okay.
And so it was the first time that I actually thought about cats as a pet. But when I did get that cat, her name was Nala. I don't know, we really bonded, and I got a different sense of connection to cats as pets. But also, that aside, like Egyptian mythology, when you think about the daughters of Ra, Sekhmet and Bastet, they're also cat, like depicted by cat symbology. And for me, I was like, again, going back to the fact that I feel like there's multiple people that live inside me. I guess I try to honor all of them. So Cat Mama is also sort of like rooted in my love of Egyptian mythology and symbolism, Sekhmet, Bastet, but then also Cat Mama because I'm a cat lady. I've got cats tattooed pretty much all over my body, like I'm seriously catty. So if anyone's listening and they want to bring me cats, I don't mind.
They're very loyal animals. I'm very loyal. I'm very royal.
Very royal, very loyal. Okay, girl with the ram.
I know, that's right.
Very royal, very loyal. And also, what I like about cats is, if they don't feel like dealing with you today, then nobody will plus you.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Dogs are very different. They're very loyal, almost blindly loyal.
And clingy. And
very clingy. Yeah. But cats kind of like people.
If they mess with you today, then
cats are like, you gave me watching yesterday. You gave me watching today, but yesterday you gave me some really nice food from Max Mart. So today I'm not messing with you. You know what I mean? Like, cats are real.
I definitely feel that with dogs. That's very true. Actually, dogs, they kind of just like they're gonna ride with you regardless.
You feeding me, you love me.
Cats just like no child, not today.
No, they like clean my litter box, dog.
So how have you found, obviously, doing music in Ghana? What made you come to Ghana?
Okay, well, really, I was born in London. We lived in Gabon, and then moved to Ghana. So I lived in Ghana pretty much for most of my formative years, I guess you could say. And I left Ghana to go to the States, New York, when I was 17.
Okay.
I came back to Ghana in 2017. Now, honestly, at the time, I had moved from New York. I was living in Los Angeles. Some could say that I had the perfect reality, but there was a moment where I felt that I had to come home. I can't explain it in like words. Like it felt very much.
Everybody says that.
Like something was like come home. I think like the America there, like it stressed me small. Like I think I needed to come home and be back where I'm from. I think, and also I was very homesick. I think, and I think I've been denying that within myself. And I think grandmother raised me. My mom and my grandmother raised me, and I hadn't been with her in a really long time. And now, today, as I sit with you, I think that what pushed me to come was the fact that my grandmother passed away last year. And had I not moved back to Ghana, like I doubt I would have had that time, that really intimate time with her before she died. And so I feel like, honestly, if you ask me what brought me back, spirits, like straight spirits.
There you go.
Yeah, like
there you go.
Something,
it's a spiritual, and that's why I feel like a lot of people can't explain.
I can't explain it.
Why they come back,
know.
but it's a calling.
Yeah,
it's
something was like, come home. And honestly, I got to spend, the last few years of her life with her, which I think were, for me, the most impactful. So, I'm really happy to be back. But the music thing here, Charlie.
But no, wait.
We're gonna get into it, honey.
We are going to get into it. Let's take a musical break. Let's just ready ourselves, absorb the energy, and then because it's gonna be a long one.
It's key, honey.
It's gonna be a long one. So this is a breakdown show, guys, and we are gonna be back after the musical break. Stay locked in. Let's go.
You are tuning into Enjoyment Radio, music for us, by us.
Guys, we are back on the breakdown show, and we are still locked in with Ria Boss.
Yes.
And we're gonna bring it on air.
Yeah,
Obviously, we were talking behind the scenes and everything else, but talk to us about the music industry from your perspective in Ghana.
This is I think a really tricky thing to say. I will say this as I stand here. Right now, there are amazing opportunities for musicians. Right now, 2022, for example, Surf Ghana, the Freedom Skate Park has just opened Vibrant Space, which is a community-led recording studio. All you have to do is book time, and it's free for you as a musician. These things did not exist until this year. So, this is to say that as much as the industry has been extremely competitive, extremely not as kind to some of us that do alternative music, and when I say alternative, I mean like R&B, rock. All these things exist here, right? Neo soul, all these things exist here. But if you're not necessarily doing Afro beats, or you are not, how do I put it, like conventionally presenting, sometimes that can work to your disadvantage, right? And so when I first got back here, because I also had a lot of friends that are more like key players in the industry. Shout out to Ifya, really she's always somebody who likes to uplift all different genres of music and a lot of different women as well. Because of my affiliation to some of these people, it did help. But the type of music I make is not mainstream in Ghana. It isn't. That's not to say that the type of music that, let's say everybody here listens to Rihanna. Or like, Beyonce, Doja Cat. But when you are here in Ghana, they want you to represent Ghana. There's a certain way they feel like you should represent Ghana. Add some more Ghanaian rhythms to your music. You should be speaking Ghana more. No, if this is how I emote. If, let's say, apart from all the stuff I grew up listening to, whether it was High Life with CP Sauro, or whoever, I also got to listen to people like Erykah Badu or D'Angelo because of my mother, or Stevie Wonder. She was playing these things on Saturdays when she's like cleaning the house. So because of this diverse catalog, is it not okay for me to then lean to a genre that I feel
to your higher powers of knowing?
Exactly, like this is what I feel is it works for me, And so when I first got back, even though I was affiliated, it was very difficult because again, nobody really knew who I was, and so I had to try to do all these gigs. And I'm also independent, and as an independent artist in Ghana, you will spend. If they hold, like if you don't have money, you will spend, and especially if you're not making the money, it can be extremely discouraging, extremely. And so, I think the industry, we don't have a lot of infrastructure that is helping creatives to feel like they can get funding. That they don't always have to do it alone. And also one of the problems I think we also had was even in our own creative industry, we cheat each other. So you can go to like a videographer, maybe as an independent artist, you can say, listen, I'm not working with a lot of money. And then, they'll give you a budget of let's say 15,000, which you don't have. But then you go and try and find that money, and you go out on set and you see that what is the money even going to on this set? And then you feel like you've wasted your time. It's also about like respect amongst us as creatives here as well, which I think is getting a lot better. But when I'm speaking from the perspective of when I first got here, and I felt there were times I felt really discouraged. Like when I first moved back, I was living at my grandmother's house, God rest her soul, and I had started working at her company, and it wasn't working for me because 9 to 5 is not for me. And then I tried working at my uncle's fumigation company. That did not work for me, and because my mom was like, you have to find something that will at least fuel your music. I think it was hard for her to understand that if I'm not necessarily in the mainstream or a name that is readily known, it's going to take longer. It's going to take investors that are willing to take the risk, because sometimes you're not making that money back as fast as they want you to, because this industry, like the music industry, is very different. You put in a lot of money to get a lot back in time, and so that I think is difficult. But I think and also Musica, them they chop money, like I'm sorry, like so many artists in Ghana will tell you that Musica, they have not seen one dime from them, or they have to go and chase them for their and so publishing, that's another thing. It's shout out to people like Ditto Music or TuneCore, like all these people that come through and try to help us with our publishing. I think now Spotify's coming in, Spotify's doing events here, so now we have a little more push or a little more help. But honestly, before, or like, we still have a long way to go.
Now, you don't even say before.
Let me even say before. We need, but I also think it comes from a place of wanting to be united, right? And wanting to partnership, and wanting to also know that, look, if we all do well in this industry, what does that mean? That our industry becomes elevated. We can have an industry that rivals that of Nigeria, or that of even the States.
We can be where we all want to be, and we keep crying about being.
We have to work as a team and not as like singular individuals, But I think it's difficult when you're also just trying to make ends meet, right? When you live in a place where right now, for example, the economy is hurting everyone. The economy is, no matter at what level you are, it's hurting you. And so I feel like in that type of environment, it does become kind of like crabs in a barrel. Whoever gets to the top first, and then Charlie, I'll come for you. But maybe sometimes I don't know if you come for you, because me too, my family for chop. Like, so you can't really hold it against so many people. But what you can say is, if we all try to do better at creating an infrastructure that works, and if we try to be more transparent about money, guys, let's talk about what we're getting paid, honey, so that we can all be fair. And
let's just be paying people.
Let's be paying people. I'll tell you something, I've gotten international gigs that have paid me more money than my fellow people here in Ghana. They've seen my worth more than people here in Ghana, and it's only, let's say, in the last 2 years that I've even started to remotely be able to ask for my fair rate. But even then, people will still try to I beg you. But when you convert it, let's say, to dollars or to euros, you're not getting paid anything.
It's nothing.
And so I think we need to do a lot better at trying to uplift each other. And remember that, Charlie, like, this industry, musicians, everybody here listens to music. I bet you everyone in this room has a favorite song, or like a song of their heart's break, or like something that reminds them of a time. So you know that musicians are important. You know that creators are important. You know that filmmakers are important. You know that even the people that are working on sets are important, videographers, all these people are important. So if you are able to value them well, your whole country will thrive.
The thing is, you are even, as I'm sitting here, I'm just even getting hot, because the thing is, it's like, how do you think this ecosystem runs? Entertainment is what makes a country. If we really want to break it down.
And not just the branding of, we go if you brand the country, die. But let me tell you something, if you're not fixing what's happening internally, all you're doing is telling diasporans you can come here and have fun with your foreign exchange, but the people in your country
are hungry. Are starving.
So what's the point?
And when we look at the current like economic climate that we're in, and how crazy it is, and how it's really breaking down. You see, and it gets political. So but had we of just taken our industry more seriously, do you know the amount of funds we could get out of this economic crisis?
So much.
If we started reinvesting back into the industry, into the creative arts industry. It's because certain people, I feel like, at higher positions and higher powers, don't want to take this thing seriously still in this day and age. True. And still want to make it as if it's just a song and dance thing.
They belittle it when it's.
But when they need you guys, for campaigns and certain things, they expect you people to show up. Like this economic climate, the way they're calling for Sarkozy to say something. And I'm like, are you paying him his value rate first of all? First of all, is he loved and feeling loved by his people? Is he?
Those are valid questions.
Is he being hugged well by his people? Does he feel warm embraced by, to then speak out on political things that might affect
his bag? That will affect his bag, and that's why it goes back to
who's he fighting for?
And that's why it goes back to, like, honestly, that's why you can't even blame people sometimes for not saying anything, because they know that, hey, Charlie, I live in a country that if I say something, then maybe it's going to affect like some job I will do. And that in itself is wrong, right? But unfortunately, because of how it is, you see that people have to really toe the line and make sure that they're not ruffling any feathers so that, oh, maybe I'll get this job. And
it's so sad.
It's sad.
When you look at stuff like, when you said that, what came to my mind is, remember when Stormzy went mad on Tuesday?
Yep.
Just ham. Just cussed up after the... And he's eating very well.
He's still eating very well, but can you imagine any one of our very large artists saying something against somebody?
They better book a flight.
They'll have to leave the country. Well, they tell you that you thrive elsewhere than in your own mother Ghana. It's sad. It's sad.
It's like, what do we need to do? Where do we need to go? We've been having conversations.
Yeah.
Like, what needs to kind of happen for us to be able to move in the right direction where we are able to compete with other mass markets?
That's a hard question. That's a hard question because I think that it starts from like everyone. It's like a mentality thing as well, because I don't know if you guys are like familiar with what's happening online today with like I'm a governor and all this sort of like stuff that's going back and forth. And I said something where I was like, we have to defend her because what the Ghana like Law Council is doing is setting a very, very, very dangerous precedent, right? And somebody told me that, but the economy is what we are dealing with, and you want to be talking about somebody with their head, like they're trying to like. They were trying to say that, oh, we shouldn't be defending her when our economy is down, but that's the problem. That's the problem. We should all come together because it's oppressive in general. You're hurting us as a people, so we can't now divide our fights. You can't divide the fight. Like you can't say, okay, well, I'm gonna fight, but only for this, and then be oppressive to someone else. Like oppression is oppression. So you have to choose a side, and the side has to be on the side of you and the rest of the citizens that are getting hurt. People that are paying e-levy, when you're sending 1,700 Ghana, they're taking 1,792.
And they're still coming to tell you this.
It is my money, and you're transferring your own money to your own money, and they're taking your money. I mean, like they're problem big. So I feel like it's a mentality thing, right? And until I think on an individual basis we are able to start questioning the infrastructure and even questioning why and questioning why we are accepting of it. Right? Then I think something will happen. Last week there was a Kumi Preko, like demonstration. Now imagine if it was like every single one of us that was there. Were you there? No, I wasn't there. Right? You know what I mean? And there's something to be said about me not being there. But what if I was there? I think so. It's like we're all part and parcel of it, in a way. But what if all of us decided we're not gonna go to work? We're all gonna stay in our house. We're gonna boycott. What would happen then? I feel like it'll take a really long time. But thankfully we have communities now that are propping up. Like the skate park, like Palm Moments, like the folks that go out to like Ali James, and like all these cute little creative communities, art martists that does art, like all these little communities that are sprouting because they're in defiance, right? They want to show that look, we're here, unapologetic. And so shout out to all these like super amazing creative communities that are trying to come up and tell people that no, you know what, we are gonna make a change here. So yeah.
I think
You are tuning into Enjoyment Radio, music for us, by us.
Ghanaians too that I noticed when I came back, right? We need to be more confident in our source. Hello.
We're very passive people.
Cut it out.
We're very humility.
Please. Like, we need to start, and it starts from schooling.
Yeah,
we need to stop that.
Yeah, but look, even think about your schools. You're going to school as a young girl, you're cutting your hair. They're making you cut your hair. Or a young man who has dreadlocks goes to Motown, and they say you can't come to school because of your locks. I mean, these things, you know what I mean? Like, the problem is so big.
It's like, question everything.
Yeah.
Because there is always something that is not right in something. Question everything for your own, like, this thing, it doesn't sound
right.
Just we need to walk into the room like, hello.
Hi.
Yeah,
I'm here. Hello. Okay.
And I think that's why, and I feel like sometimes that's why like people just take advantage of us.
Absolutely. I used to be very much of the like humble. You have to be so humble, and no, you shouldn't. When people give you funds, they're like, oh no, stop. No, now I'm bad. Like, I walk in the room like, hello, because it's important for you to be confident in yourself. Like it's important for you to know your worth and like you were saying, to question things. You can't just take things as they are. You have to question them. Yeah.
My thing is, I've always been like, how do you expect people to take you seriously if you don't even take yourself seriously?
Points.
Like,
points have been made.
It's like, my thing is, even if you are not like for example, DJ Gifted in the building, right?
In the building.
Let me tell you something about, for those who've not been able to see Gifted. Gifted is one of the sickest DJs. Like, I've heard.
Big him up now, guys.
Like, one of the sickest. The way he mixes is so crazy. But you can see Gifted doesn't believe in his source. I can see
Gifted.
You don't believe in your source.
Gifted.
You don't know your talent, and you don't know who you are.
That's the
and that's the problem I have. Like, that's the real problem I have, because I believe, if you was to walk in a room, right, full of label owners, and you was to arrive like as talented as you are, if your personality matched your talent, please tell me that you wouldn't get signed. Please tell me you wouldn't get signed. You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
You, like, why wouldn't you? If you believe in your source, nobody can question it, because the talent will match the energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what is missing with Ghanaians, and they come, and especially, have you seen like Ghanaian artists with Nigerian artists?
Which one?
Like when they're in all in the same room.
Yeah.
Have you seen? I could just hide.
There's a certain level of.
I'm telling you.
It's
just like everybody. It's like, who is your Oga?
I don't know. And I think you were saying it comes from like school. It comes from like, for example, there was some time at our apartment complex. There's these two, I'm going to say quotes unquote, ECG men came, entered the compound, said they come to shut off their lights. And I was talking to them. First, I was being very respectful, but you are on my property, my family on it, so that's.
There you go.
And we have our meters. Everything was like on the up and up, but they were trying to do an inspection that they actually did not have the papers to do. But they didn't exactly explain what they were here for. So I said, can you show me what it is you're here to do, so that I can actually like let you do it? But you have to have some paperwork to prove it, because I can't let you in on my property to do anything unless. The guy told me that he has a daughter my age, and because of the way I'm speaking to him, he will turn off my lights. Now, anywhere else you can't do that. No, you have to show me why you're here, prove it, and then I can oblige. But because it's like them for humble you, for respect your elders, even when your elders do not have, like, you shouldn't have to respect them just because they're older than you. You're too known, and you're talking to me like this.
You're talking to me.
And that is part of the problem here, is that we just give blind respect to people for, like, even when they're disrespecting you. Oh, but because I'm younger than you, I'm not allowed to speak up. And that's actually one of our biggest problems, and that's what causes when you're in a room, even if you be sacred there, but us, maybe someone else did that, you for humble yourself.
Can you imagine? This is where I think we are all going wrong. I think these are all part of the issues of our music industry. Some of us need to stand up.
Now you gotta be confident in your source. Like, and me personally as an artist, like, it's taken me a very long time to become someone that is extremely comfortable in my skin and to be myself and to be confident. Now I think I owe it to like my community, my friends, this my bestie over here, like everybody giving me the room to be myself. I finally said to myself,
do you know
like media, I don't go hide anymore. Like, there's no point, because if you do that, then there's other people that are looking up to you that feel like, oh man, I can't. That means that I have to be humble too. Like, I have to like hold myself together and be more mute, and that's not right. You know, the people that we aspire to be like your influencers and stuff, I'm sure that they're all confident individuals.
And that's how they be getting deals.
Exactly.
Because nobody's going to sign you if you're just quiet and in your shop. You're just going to waste people's money. How are they supposed to? And this was so funny, because this is what a label exec said to me when they were in Ghana. They were like, a lot of Ghanaian artists, their brand is boring.
You see now.
You see, and so it's never been a lack of talent. It's
a lack of, guess what? It's a lack of personality.
And marketing. How am I supposed to market you?
It's a lack of personality, and that's because you're trying to toe the line, because you know that in your ecosystem, if you are too far left or too far right, maybe you will not get the jobs, and that's the problem. So people cannot be the full iteration of themselves, because they're afraid that if they are, that money that they want in an environment that's crabs in a barrel will not come back to them.
But they don't realize that the bigger money.
The bigger money is in being yourself. Oh,
look at Black Sharif.
Hello.
The way he dresses, people don't understand, but that is where the bag is. That is where. But
I'll tell you what. He's also signed to Empire, and they have like a larger international reach, right? So I think also with that, it gives him the liberty to relax more. Because he don't need nobody. You get what I'm saying? And so I think that also helps. And even if more people saw value in all the artists here, you would also help them find their confidence. Yeah, you help them find their confidence because they worry small.
And on that note, guys, we are going to take another musical break, and we will be back after this. This is the Breakdown Show. Stay locked in. Let's go.
Yeah, I haven't heard this one in a bit for myself. Imagine I'm sometimes as you do all the time. There's always so much way upset. Yeah, make this song. Day and night, but I make a run. When I got down and I was in the room. Hey, someone said big up Gifted. Gifted in the building. Big up Gifted in the building.
Come out your shot. Money go there.
Yo, come out. Yeah, you have to. The money is there.
You are tuning into Enjoyment Radio, music for us, by us.
Camera, off mic.
We be having a talk, son.
We be giving, and I feel like the world kind of needs to hear it as well. Like, we need to feed the information, share it out, and give it out. So we were kind of talking about like marketing.
Yeah.
And we were talking about having a personality, having a relatable brand.
Yeah.
And kind of like being able to give something to people to be able for them to figure out how they go use it.
Like how we go market to you. Because music, like you were saying, music is a business at the end of the day. And like I think I was saying that, okay, like in the past, like when I would release my music, I was very like, oh my gosh, it's super spiritual. I'm gonna drop this song. I don't really care. Like I'm just doing it from my heart, and that's fine. Yeah. But then that's a hobby, right? That is not something you're trying to get money from. If you're looking at it as a business, how are you even selling your music? I never used to, care too much about how I presented myself or what I was wearing. I just knew that, hey, I really like tattoos, like crazy, and I like cats.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you market that?
Yeah.
I don't really know. You know what I mean? But then I realized, no way. It also comes from a certain confidence in yourself and knowing who you are. Yeah, you were saying braggadocious. It's about having a personality too. Like, who are you? Yeah. Like, I shouldn't be like anybody else. I should actually be very me. Yeah. And being more me is what affords me the ability to make money for myself. Amen. And so I think if more people just trust their sauce, like you said earlier, and have a personality, then you'd be like, hey, Charlie, this record label sees you and they're like, yo. And they will come to you. They'll be like, I like you because not only that, I know Nike gonna come and put sneakers on you. We can do a brand deal like that. I know you can, like, I could put you in some streetwear. We gonna do that. Like, there's so many ways that they can market you. And we were talking about like Cardi B, how she has an amazing personality and how that translates. She's so marketable. She's so marketable. And honestly, like, it's nice to be like the music business is about music, but music is
never takes away from
it never takes away
from the passion and the love and the spiritualness of music.
Absolutely,
but it's still a business.
But it's still a business, and so that's why they'll also tell you to have a team, right? Yeah, have people that you can delegate to do certain things, so that you can focus on the creative, so that at least you can still focus on that spiritual heart connection that you have with your music. But the reality is, if you want to make big bags, you have to make sure that you're marketable, that you have a personality, and your personality. I will say this to everybody that's listening, do not fashion it against anyone else. Like, try as much as possible to figure out just who you are. And I know that finding out who we are can take a lifetime, trust me. But at least figuring out the things that are very uniquely you and embracing those things. I used to be very shy. Yeah. I used to be very quiet. So I'll go into a room, people would be like, is she even here? The other day I was at this Spotify masterclass and Manifest made a comment where he was like, I used to be like, does she talk? And then I was like, it speaks, like, because I realized that why was I hiding behind this like shyness? Yeah, like what was that? What was that about?
That you can't sing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that about? Like,
have you guys heard her sing? Have you heard her sing before?
Hello.
That live.
Cat's mama with a big voice, honey. Yeah, what is
like when she performs?
That's crazy that you just said that because I got a little announcement about where.
Yes.
I have some small announcement. Right. So I should just say you can come and you can hear me live. So this month on November 24th, which is my birthday, I will be having the Cat Mama World Ria Boss experience at Alliance Française. It's going to be a live concert, very musical theater, darling, and also an exhibition as well. I have asked some select artists that I love to listen to the album and choose some of the songs or one song that they would like to create pieces from. So we're going to have a Remember Gallery that'll be open. Nice. We're going to have Jameson, shout out to Jameson on the drinks. We're going to have Ghana Soul Kitchen and Blue Cheese as our vendors. We're going to also, it's a Kitty Palace and Church of Stories and Jake and Do production. The band, the Musical Lunatics, will be playing and backing me. That's my band, and it's the biggest show I've ever done or produced. So I'm very nervous, but also extremely excited because I think after this show, y'all gonna talk to me nice.
You gonna talk to me.
You gonna talk to me nice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so early bird tickets are gonna be 100 Ghana cedis. On the day of, they'll be 150. I know the economy is hard, but you're gonna get some really special free merchandise for your purchase. I think that we should do a little exchange for what you're doing. So yeah, come through. I know says November 24th. Come jam with me. It's also my birthday, so bring me whiskey.
Enjoyment. Yes.
Serious enjoyment. In fact, all of you have to come. You're on the list.
Yes, we're all gonna come. Yeah, definitely all gonna come. We are all going to come. Oh, I'm excited.
Yes. I'm very excited. Girl, I have like 4 outfit changes because there's 4 personalities on it, so we're gonna make it do what it do.
Oh, guys, you definitely have to be there. November 24th.
November 24th.
You have to be there, guys. Let's pull up. Let's support. And you said you got an album coming.
So the album actually came out April. So this will be the first time I'm also performing the album, the whole album, because at my album launch I didn't do all the songs. Okay. At my show at Jameson Warehouse I did not do the whole album. This will be the first time I'm performing the whole album. So very excited. It's also the first time I'm going to be outdooring my 4 personalities, guys. So let's.
Oh, this is gonna be.
Let's see. This is gonna be a to-do. We going a little out there, but it's cute, you know.
No, I love that. You guys need to pull up. How was it? So what number is this? Your first album or?
So this is actually my first album. I put out EPs. Actually, in 2018, I did a thing where it was called Thank God It's Ria. I dropped an EP every week for 11 weeks, 44 songs, and after that run. This is the first sort of like offering. It's called Remember. It was inspired by my grandmother, but also grief, loss, and love. And so that came out April 29th. And so I'm going to be performing it November 24th. I hope everybody comes true.
How was it putting the album together?
So it's a live album, which means that everything was recorded live. Shout out to Mikwe Ayi, who is my musical director.
Yes.
It was difficult. I mean, I think, trying to put together a live album in this country is expensive, number one. It's expensive when you're not necessarily also getting paid the best.
Yeah.
I still owe people money today. Let me be real. There's still people that, but luckily for me, like I have a community that understands that I'm good for it, just be taking time and shit. But like, it took a lot of work, but all the hands that went into creating this album are people that genuinely care and love me, and so I think that also helps. This intentional community that I've built around me also supports me. This is why my music director can let me come for a rehearsal and you say, "We'll pay me later," or something. You get what I'm saying? Not everybody has that luxury. It's a luxury and a privilege. It took us 4 months to do this album, and then it took 3 weeks of recording sessions. And honestly, everyone that's in my band, they have other lives. They do so many other things. I'm not the only musician that they work with, and they took the time out of their busy schedules, being dads, being husbands, being 9-to-5ers, to come and help me put this album together. So it's a beautiful album. You should listen. Remember, we've listened to some of the songs throughout the show, but it's a labor of love. I'm very proud.
You should be so proud. For you to be able, clap for yourself. For you to be able to put this together and like even have the motivation, determination to, we have to give people their props.
It was difficult.
I'm telling you.
I even suffered heartbreak. I was dumped during the time at the time.
Not heartbreak.
Chop serious breakfast.
In this Accra.
A Ghana
boy.
Ghana.
You see, this is the mistake you people make. Oh, maybe it's just me.
It's actually a mistake. Me, I thought I was looking at him as a beautiful guy. I was a lovely guy. Heartbreak. The breakfast are chopping. Hey, God. Like 5 servings of breakfast. Hey! But guess what? The album is beautiful and I'm living a very perfect life right now. So we thank God, gracious God, you know what I'm saying?
What's the dating scene like for Ria Boss?
The dating scene, girl, I'm scared. We're talking about
dating
what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm not scared. If you're listening, please.
Yeah, don't block your blessing.
I don't want to block blessing. I like big bags. My lifestyle is expensive. But call me if you can handle that. Thank you very much.
What's your type?
This is hard. I think I used to have a type, and by that I used to like hoteps. Do we know what a hotep is?
What's
a super grand rising empress kind of guy.
Okay.
No more. Those are the worst ones. If they call you empress, run. Sorry. Yeah.
That's kind of spiritually.
But I think I'm really attracted to compassionate people with emotional intelligence that are intentional about the things they say and mean it and are not liars. Like, I just feel like be real about who you are. No, for real. Be real about who you are, be honest, and be compassionate. I think compassion is the root of everything in life. I think if we all had compassion for one another, there would be less conflict. And compassion really means like being able to put myself in your shoes and love you.
Yeah.
Because especially people like, if you believe in God, God is love, right? And so in loving your neighbor means accepting them as they are without any type of preconceived, like, I just love you. Like, I can't live your life for you, but I can love you. And that's enough. And so for me, like, my kind of people are compassionate people who are honest and they care for their fellow human being.
I love that. I absolutely love that. We pray that you find somebody.
Otherwise, maybe somebody or somebody's, because
But sometimes
there's plenty room. There's plenty room.
Sometimes
somebody's.
Sometimes when we do somebody, that's where we chop that out.
You for just maybe diversify.
Because I find that those who do the somebodies, they
are living great.
I'm telling you,
they're living great.
It's us that want to do moral compass.
One person, actually, if maybe get some extras in the room, you never know. Things can go very right.
Oh my god! All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick musical break, and we are going to be back to wrap up the breakdown show. Stay locked in.
You are tuning into Enjoyment Radio, music for us, by us.
And thank you guys for looking into the breakdown show. We are here every Wednesday.
Shout out to Gifted!
Yes, shout out to Gifted. Listen, Gifted, he will be on the stage in O2. Everybody say amen.
Amen.
It's only right. Heavy prayers, heavy blessings over the breakdown show. Stay locked in. See you next week.